My coming out story went a little something like this. My coming out story has 4 parts. First time I came out, I was in a hotel with my grandmother. We were somewhere in the Midwest for a hockey tournament, and I told her I was bisexual. And that was my way of trying to say I like women, but what I thought people would accept more. And it was a lie at the time. But next I would come out and say, no, I totally only like women. And that would be in my later teens. Eventually, in my earlier 20s, I said, I'm genderqueer. And I met my partner, and she met me at first as genderqueer. And eventually at LA Pride, I'd say 2 years later, in 2016 or 2017, with a friend, we were both there with our friend, and we were staying at a hotel, and I just broke down and just let this weight off my back that had been, I knew my whole life who I am, who I'm supposed to be, and they were so supportive. And I was so scared. I was so scared that maybe my girlfriend, although she's bisexual, wouldn't want to be with me, or that my friend might think I'm weird even though we're at Pride, of all places, Los Angeles Pride, right? That was a huge relief. It was harder to tell my family. And for the most part, they were accepting. It's definitely, they transitioned with me, as did my friends. It's definitely different for people, not just myself. But eventually, I started my medical transition, actually, about a year after that. And I knew there was going to be more scary parts to it. But my whole life, I had kind of hidden behind, and it wasn't that I wasn't into body piercings and punk rock and stuff like that, but I definitely just made myself as least approachable as I could, or what I thought would be, and I kind of really hid myself, from everybody else. And like I said, I was totally into all those things and stuff, but it still wasn't me. Even when I was doing, I still didn't feel like myself. I was so uncomfortable. And one of the only things that kept me really sane for so long, even as a kid, was playing sports. And playing hockey was my favorite thing, being a goaltender. It kept my mind busy. I hated school. I hated going to school. When I switched to public school, it was brutal. Because, I don't look fondly back on those years. I look fondly about my friends. But yeah, sports were the only thing, sports and music, that kept me going. And although I came out all those times, and for the most part people were accepting, I still was not me. I had this constant screaming. It was like screaming in my chest that never went away until I finally, came out as trans that year. And I started it, my whole world really started to change when I started my transition and got my name legally changed and got my gender marker changed. My top surgery was really the big one that really set, that really not finalized, I want to say that, and not that these things made any problems in my life any better, but my happiness overall, I didn't know this kind of happiness existed. I really didn't. And if you had asked me when I was 15 where I saw myself in 10 years from there, I would have said I don't. I wouldn't have had an answer, because I had taken so many, I had tried so many times to harm myself in ways that are not reversible that I really had no idea. I had no idea. I knew like things I might have wanted to do when I grow up, but I just didn't think I'd get there. I didn't know I'd be doing hair. I didn't think I'd have a wonderful partner and her wonderful family and all these great friends. I never thought I'd live in California. I had no idea. But with so much support and the hard work I put into, changing things for myself to do what I needed to do to survive, to keep myself surviving, it really did. Like I said, I had no idea the way I feel now in life could exist. So that last coming out was the one that changed my life forever, and I think is what kept me here. So there are two things that got me into the beauty industry, and the main thing is my partner, who had been doing hair already for about 5 years when I met her, and she knew I liked creative things, that I liked to work with my hands, and I kind of had gone around some career ideas I wanted to go back to school for, but I hate school. And or at least getting your English credits and all that kind of stuff, math, and she kind of showed me what the industry's like and kind of gave me a feel for it, and this is the steps it takes to start your career. This is kind of how it goes. I had looked into it before, but it just seems so incredibly crazy and like confusing, and like looking at cosmetology schools, I was like, $20,000, that's outrageous. She kind of showed me, she's like, no, go to Golden West, they're community colleges, you just need to go get your license, and you don't need all that. And that was the best advice ever. But the second thing that really got me into this after learning I wanted to do this, that was really incentive, was my experiences in salons and barbershops, and having been charged, $20 more for exactly the same haircut as a guy that was in the exact same chair before me. Or, getting, as a kid, the first time I got my hair cut short, having the stylist comment on, oh, you're letting all this beautiful hair go. And I was just so stoked to have short hair for the first time in my life. And, that isn't something I want people to feel. I don't want anyone, regardless of your background, who sits down and asks me, for a cut, to feel bad about what they're asking for, to feel like they're getting judged for it. It's really sad to see that is a part of our industry that does exist, and I want to be a part of that change. I don't see why people make comments about what someone else wants, because maybe what you want isn't what somebody else wants anyway. We should be encouraging other individuals, whether we know them or not, to feel like themselves, to be themselves. It doesn't matter if you think it looks good or not. I mean, as stylists, we do advise suggestions that could make things better, or things like that. But if you want a mohawk, I'll give you a mohawk. I don't care if you're a woman who wants short hair, or a male or who wants long hair, or if you're gender non-conforming and you want whoever you are and whatever you want, you shouldn't feel bad for wanting it. And so that's what really got me, once I got in here and doing this, that really is a driving force for me right now, besides just constantly improving my craft. The clients, it is flattering that somebody wants to sit in your chair and have you do their hair. It doesn't matter if they're a walk-in, it doesn't matter. They want to give you their money, so why would anybody say anything negative or like give people looks? It's just bad business. So it's not about the money, it's about making people feel good. I want to feel good every day. I like that I can get up and go outside and you know, go into the salon and feel comfortable as myself. So I really want the same for everybody else. And especially while they're getting a service done, they should feel very comfortable. As somebody who's a bit newer to the beauty industry myself, and I've only been licensed for 2 years, what I could tell somebody who's interested in joining the beauty industry, wherever that may be in the industry, is school is going to be the best time. I guess that depends on who you ask. I had the best experience at school because I had the best classmates, and even the people that weren't in my level or my class, everyone in the school was never had a problem with anybody as far as I know. But it is such a great time before you enter the real world and start looking for an assisting position and all that. But it is a lot of work, and it's something you should prepare for. But like I said, there are such wonderful people, especially when you are newer and you first get licensed. People are really, really open to answering questions, being helpful, and it's not just when you first entered. You know, people are always trying to help each other, and that's how it should be. I think in any creative field, there should be competition, but we should be helping each other. So go get your hours, go get your license, and go kill it. And you're gonna find a lot of cool, kind people, and you'll find the salon that fits you. You'll find the clientele that's for you. It really is a really cool journey, even though I've only been doing it for 2 years, to kind of look back in these little sections of growth as you go along. And then you'll talk to people like my partner who've been doing it for 10 years, and they can break down their progressions for you too. People are always changing. You're always going to be learning. You should always be learning. And it really is it's a lot of fun. So I highly recommend it. My name is Shawn Chaves, and this is the face of queer beauty. If you, loved one, friend, or anybody you know is struggling with your mental health, any kind of depression, or just need to talk to somebody, please reach out to the Trans Lifeline. The US number is 1-877-565-8860. And for Canada, 877-330-6366.